Speaking of turning games around, it's interesting that two guys that spend a lot of time in Denver, one has a home on top of the Pepsi Center, and people don't know that he has a home up. But Kroenke, Stan
Isn't there a
Kroenke,
helicopter pad there too?
I don't think so.
No.
But I've been up there. He has a condo that was built on top of the Pepsi Center.
I've never been invited. I'm fairly friendly with Josh, but I've never been invited up to the.
I don't know
up to
that
the
Josh
penthouse
has ever
area.
been invited.
Tell me
Josh has a place
tell-
in.
is it well appointed?
Yeah, absolutely. And Phil Anschutz, I've been in his house, which is south of Denver Country Club. It's well appointed. It
Yeah.
looks like a museum you'd find in France with all the Western art in the whole world. And so, yes, I've been in. So these two guys who are friends, they are friends and competitors like Kravitz and I. Anschutz really put together the MLS, and Kroenke bought the Denver team from Anschutz.
The Rapids.
Yeah, and Anschutz owns the Staples Center. He owns the LA Kings, and so they've had a very close relationship, not really from a business standpoint, but just in the world of sports. And Anschutz built the soccer stadium out there in the Los Angeles suburbs.
Yes.
And so Kroenke
For the
then built
Galaxy.
one here.
Yeah.
So there's been that connection. Well, now they're fighting over the other stadiums, not soccer stadiums in the suburbs,
Yeah.
but football stadiums in the Los Angeles area.
Anschutz wants to build a stadium downtown attached to the convention center in LA, and Kroenke has about 60 acres next to Hollywood Park that he wants to develop along with the owners of Hollywood Park and build an 80,000 seat stadium there.
And Anschutz has been working on this project for several years, and he has gotten the approval of the Los Angeles City Council.
Yes.
Because they have to move some highways, and the convention center, as you say, is involved. But Anschutz has accomplished one major thing in Los Angeles, other than winning championships with the Kings and building the Staples Center. He has developed downtown Los Angeles.
He sure has.
That was a blight, a lot worse than Denver.
Yeah.
And I have a history, and we don't have time to go into it.
If you're not familiar, LA Live, it's a huge entertainment
sure.
complex downtown
Oh.
that really has helped. It was the catalyst for reviving the whole downtown
And
LA
they
area.
basically gave him that land to do whatever he wanted to with it. And you put a stadium down there and you expand the convention center, that will be the most jumping place west of the Mississippi.
And Kroenke's deal could revive Englewood, which is a bit of a downtrodden area where the
Not a bit.
Lakers
It's been
where the Lakers and Clippers
where the
used to play
Fabulous
basketball.
Forum was, where Hollywood Park is, and Hollywood Park
So
has
who's
gone
go-
out of business.
Who's going to end up with the team?
I think Anschutz because of two reasons. One, that's a core part of Los Angeles, and he's gotten government approval to do it and not lean on the taxpayers for it. The Kroenke proposal involves a ballot issue. And you know how prone people are to vote against sports stadiums?
Especially if it's going to take money out of their pockets. Although I don't think there's any taxpayer money involved in the Kroenke deal.
No, there is. There is.
There is?
Oh, yeah.
What, mainly for infrastructure?
Yeah, I mean,
roads,
most of the stuff.
sewers.
Yeah,
you know,
that's why there's a ballot issue that
Yeah.
they're going to have to put up what would be ancillary rights. No, they don't have to actually build the stadium because he's going to build it in conjunction. So I think because it's progressed more, I think because it's in the core city, I think that the Anschutz deal is ultimately Anschutz. This is kind of funny for me to say, because I know him well.
Sure.
I know both of these guys really well, and I said on a radio talk show in St. Louis recently that I was friends with Kroenke, and that I think he would leave the team there if they built him a new stadium. And that's what I believe. And this website, it came to me, this website said he claims to be a friend of Stan Kroenke's. I'm a friend of Stan. We talk fairly regularly, and about issues that have nothing to do with sports. I'm friends with both of them. That sounds like Howard Cosell, but you have to preface things occasionally saying,
Sure.
I know these guys. Like you hang out with Shanahan occasionally.
Right.
Anschutz, they're both competitive, and they're both wealthy as you can possibly be. One's
Multi-billionaires.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they're within. Anschutz is ahead of Kroenke, unless you count Kroenke's wife. And if you put the two together, because she's got the Walmart, she's
She's a Walmart heiress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, as Josh is. And he told me that the trust fund hadn't cut in, so he doesn't. He said he lives on his salary. I'm sure Josh probably told you that.
But I'm willing to bet it's a pretty nice salary.
Yeah, he
He
lives.
owns the
he
team.
lives a pretty frugal life, though. I mean,
Yeah,
he's not.
yeah, Josh is not flamboyant in
Yeah,
any
I mean,
way.
he lived right down the street. I sound like here I go again. But he lived right. I lived in Riverfront, and he lived in a condo right down the street. And I think
He's building a
still
house
there.
4 blocks
Yeah,
from me.
Yeah. So anyway, Anschutz never gets beat.
Ooh, you're kind of laying down the gauntlet there, huh?
They're both competitive.
Well, why can't LA have 2 stadiums and 2 teams?
Crocky gets beat every
Right?
once in
Why
yeah,
can't they?
but they're
Why
gonna,
can't it have
they're,
2?
They're going to play in the same stadium. I mean that.
You think?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
If you're Anschutz or Kroenke, do you want to share a stadium with a team?
Well, but keep this in mind. Kroenke's deal is to move the Rams to that site.
Correct.
Anschutz doesn't want any part of the team. Did you know that?
Well, yeah. I mean,
He doesn't want to own the team.
well, because
He
he
doesn't
doesn't
like being
want
in
the
the sports-
spotlight.
No, he doesn't want.
Right.
He doesn't even really want the Kings. That's part of the Staples Center deal. He wants to build the stadium for what he's doing.
All the ancillary, all
Yeah,
the building around it,
because
all the
suddenly-
retail around it, all
suddenly,
the performing arts
You know
centers
that when
around
you
it.
build
Yeah.
a stadium, if a piece of property is worth $50 an acre, now it's worth $5,000.
Yeah, he's
an
more
acre.
interested in being a real estate mogul and a landlord than he is in owning
Oh,
a team.
he told me I don't want to,
Yeah.
because I said to him, "Have you got a team?" I said to him at one point. He said, "Yeah, I want you to look at the stadium plans." And I said, "Yeah, but you don't have a team." And he said 2 things to me, and this is going back, and I reveal it. He said, "I don't want to own a team." He said, "Well, there are teams that want to come out there."
Well, that's why a lot of people scream, well, why isn't Phil Anschutz buying any Denver teams? Because he doesn't want to own a team. He doesn't want the spotlight. He wants to run his businesses the way he wants to run his businesses. He doesn't want to run his businesses that are also public trusts because he knows that criticism, and a lot of it comes with it.
But
That's part of the
I
reason,
would say this
correct?
to you, and this is, this has never been a sports topic, really, conversation. But we need to have an addendum on Kroenke on Anschutz and teams, because he owns like 3 or 4 MLS teams, because he really brought this league to where it is.
At one time, I think he owned 5 of the 10 teams in the league.
Yeah.
And he's built a number of the stadiums for those
And
teams.
you know why? And I suspect this. He's never told me this. Christian, his son, is a big soccer fan. And every time I see Christian, he wants to talk about the Rapids
Soccer,
and stuff. He grew up playing, I think, at Kent, wherever, Kent, Denver, or something like that. He played soccer, and he was a soccer fan. So I think that was a tribute to his son. And I don't know this. Nobody's ever told me this. But I think he said, "Son, you want a soccer team?"
I'll give you 5 of them.
I wanted a pony. He wanted a soccer team.
You want a soccer
Yeah.
team? Here's
So-
5 of them.
So I think that there's going to be an interesting competitive
Yeah.
battle,
Yeah.
for one of them, between the 2 of them, who are very close and are very friendly, and I'm sure they
Very
don't talk all the
competitive.
time.
Yeah.
But Kroenke, I'm sure you know, Kroenke has a home in an exclusive area of Los Angeles, and that's probably where his heliport is. Maybe he does have a heliport.
Well, we knew when he bought the 60 acres of land next to Hollywood Park. We knew what he had in
No,
mind.
well, I thought
We had a pretty good
I
idea.
actually thought that it was more of a leverage deal to get St. Louis, because his main home is not far from St. Louis.
Right.
But when I said Anschutz never loses, Kroenke, if I remember correctly, lost the St. Louis Blues to his sister-in-law.
Yeah, his brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sister-in-law.